Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm doing a tarot card reading on Aquarius energy. I've already dealt them out. And after I turned off the recording, I saw something else that I thought was important. So we will go ahead and just do it with the cards out and I'll show you what we got. So I'm using two decks from Mystic Blue Moon Tarot. They're listed below in my description box under the video. But we got Obscurity, about secrets, Creative, having a vision, then getting clarity of truth, and Romance. So someone before could have had some illusions. Maybe it was clarified by thinking about someone from their past, and because they were thinking of someone from their past, they were ignoring love that was being offered to them, and they were unwilling to move forward and take creative, inspired action and to communicate. Instead, they might have wanted to communicate with someone from their past that they had illusions about, that they felt they had missed an emotional opportunity with. They could have had dreams of thinking that they could move forward in a really successful manner with this person from their past, that it would be very stable and abundant, aligned with their foundation of how they view life. And they made an offer to that person, but then they might have gotten clarity that this person of the past, maybe a Scorpio energy or someone who they viewed as being loving, possibly they had illusions because they still had things to learn about the energy of love, and could have reminded them possibly of a mother figure, because sometimes the Queen of Cups can be that, but not necessarily. But anyway, they ended up getting some clarity that either they were repeating past patterns of the past, or they got in a relationship with this person and realized the person they got in a relationship was repeating some patterns of the past. Maybe that's why they felt before they had missed an emotional opportunity with them, because of some patterns this person exhibited in the past that made it unworkable. Or they knew this person had been in relationships before and had bad behavior, and they thought with them they were under the illusion that this person would change, but they might have found out that this person was repeating the same past patterns of the past. So this person, because it caused them mental conflict, and they decided to quit investing in that person. And now their foundation might be offering them self love so that they can become independent of this old foundational way of thinking or attachment to whatever the past represented to them. You know, they were unwilling to move forward in an energy of love and were still focused on the past. So now I think they've become separate from that way of thinking, believing, perceiving the world. And now they're willing to put in work and effort. Maybe before they were a Seven of Pentacles person who didn't think you really had to put in work and effort. And they could have gotten in a relationship with someone who mirrored that back to them and they didn't put in work and effort. And now they see that, oh my gosh, I do need to work on becoming independent of that old way of thinking and believing and perceiving. And I need to put in work and effort if I want to have an intimate, loving, romantic relationship. So they might be offering love to themselves so that they're no longer trading one Three of Pentacle foundation for another Three of Pentacle foundation, because they probably had left one relationship that was offering them love over here in order to get in this other relationship. So they had been working in a Three of Pentacles foundation where people were working together, and they'd let that one go to go get in another one. So now they're no longer going to exchange foundations anymore. Their home is going to come from an energy of love. And they are putting an end to being in kind of shadowy Capricorn Libra energy, because when they got in this relationship, they might have left a relationship that was offering them love, but they had put an end to it because they kind of were in this shadowy Scorpio energy that life's just about death, sex, taxes. I'm just going to go get in a relationship over here where I can look successful and look like I'm moving forward in a successful manner without having to put in the work and effort to get myself emotionally balanced in the Cancer loving home and family energy, to get myself out of my fear, greed, selfishness, whatever, laziness, not, that life's just about looking good and being stable and abundant. That's maybe what they thought before. And so before, they'd ended the loving relationship in order to kind of be in toxic Capricorn Libra energy, where I can be selfish and greedy and I don't have to put in work and effort. And that's just unfair to the world standards. So long as I look like I'm successful by worldly standards, and isn't worldly standards all about being stable and abundant? Isn't that it? Looking good, like you're successful. And now this person has learned that that's not true, that, that's not a good foundation to operate from. I had asked, why did they choose to kind of be in black and white thinking? And it was because their Scorpio nature, being, Scorpio is kind of like the deepest emotions we can tap into, being really wanting to discover the mysteries of life and love and passion and all those things about life. They were kind of more, had either switched, I think they had been in a loving relationship that was moving forward in a positive manner, that was someone who did have clarity, and this person kind of had a win at all costs attitude, which is kind of my way or the highway. They wanted to repeat past patterns of the past, to have things be the way that they had either grown up with or whatever. And so they had let go of that foundation in order to go get in a different foundation. And they offered love to somebody who was single and abundant, and decided that, to kind of treat relationships more like a job. It's about building stability and wealth and looking like we're successful to the world. Isn't that what's important? So the reason they put an end to the happy family or the happy relationship was, that in their Scorpio way of viewing the world, reuniting with this person from their past, and maybe kind of having triangulated relationships where it's a little bit controlling, emotionally manipulative, a little cold shoulder, playing you off of friends, family, work, whatever, just so it didn't really kind of have to align with reciprocal, equal give and take love, that they'd be happy in that. Well, then I asked, well, why would that make them like happy? Let's see, what did I ask? I'd asked, like, why would they not accept love from the happy family? And we got that because they thought it would make them happy to be with a third party. Maybe I asked what they thought they were going. No, I don't think I asked that. it was still something like, well, why though? Why would they choose that over the happy family? And it could be because the happy family was emotionally brave and confident in their Leo energy. And the Leo energy in the happy family wanted people to learn their lessons, to be emotionally brave and confident, to, step into their emotions, step into their life, to embody the life that they were given, not to live this shallow existence and maybe mental conflict and illusion and confusion and holding back from love and stuff like that. And because of that, maybe that relationship ended, and if they were going to move forward, they'd have to learn their lessons about what it is to be not in kind of shadowy Leo energy where it's all about me and the spotlight on me and everybody orients their life around me, or I just act brave and strong in the world, but I'm not really emotionally connected in with myself. They would have had to learn the difference about what it means to be strong, and to withstand the storms in life. We need to be emotionally strong, not just present as like being strong, like just looking successful according to worldly standards, where people are willing to be in that more pure, innocent, hopeful, believing nature of love. And so, because of that, that family situation ended. But for anybody who learned their lessons from going about life, um, if they were in a relationship with people who wanted to move forward in a way different than them, they could have been mad about that, because it's like, we look successful. We look, why isn't this fine? But the more the other person in the relationship was coming from the energy of love, the more it caused them mental conflict, because they would have kind of had to deal with their old foundation and the past in order to see a new level of truth about what it means to be loving and um, reciprocal, open to offer love. And this person maybe was just somebody who really didn't, in kind of shadowy Scorpio energy. And so it could have made them mad that the person they were in a relationship wanted to move forward. And so that's kind of, made them think that, what, maybe I think I missed an opportunity in the past. And, or I could just get in a relationship with someone who is like my past or reminds me of my past and just keep repeating past patterns. But really, kind of once you've kind of been exposed to people who are in high vibrational Aquarius energy, it's kind of pretty hard to go back to your old foundation and work with other people who work from the same foundation that you do, where it's kind of a little emotionally manipulative and all that stuff is like, ick. It's one thing for me to be the only one in that energy in a relationship and be in a relationship with somebody who's loving and generous and kind. But now that both of us are kind of being emotionally manipulative and passive aggressive, this is miserable. you know? So they had the option to, you know, who knows what they're going to do, but it looks like the people who did learn their lessons are offering love to their own home. It is possible they could offer love to a former relationship and that they want to transform and move forward in positive Capricorn Libra energy, where they do put in hard work and effort to keep being liberated and free from the past and the old belief systems and self-limiting beliefs. And you know it's kind of like leaving behind childish ways in a way, in order to have a higher, more divine sense of justice in a relationship. I hadn't caught that the first time through. It was kind of more like, this is what happened in a relationship. And then they decided in their illusion and confusion to go more for this kind of materialistic image type thing. And I hadn't seen the redemptive story. People can either harness their Aquarius energy in a positive manner or a shadowy manner. And the shadowy people, it's kind of always the hope anytime that we get kind of repeat a past pattern based on fear, insecurity, pride, or ego, that we'll learn our lessons and like have that aha moment and be willing to move forward in your life. And I hadn't seen that the first time. So I think there was needless bitterness and resentment the first time around. Needless the second, when they maybe repeated patterns of the past, they could have been had bitterness and resentment because needless they left one relationship maybe to get in that relationship. I asked what was the archetypes of people who when they got into shadowy Aquarius energy, and they had the shadowy advocate, father, and alchemist because they have addictions that they hadn't dealt with. So those say embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. That would be shadowy Aquarius energy, making decisions without seeing things from the bigger picture and kind of in your selfishness, wanting it just to be about you, looking like the shining star. They were in shadowy father energy where they have dictatorial control and abuse of authority. And shadowy alchemist, misuse of the power and knowledge. Which, yeah, Aquarius energy is of the mind, so they kind of use their mind for negative purposes. And because they had addictions, they compromise integrity and honesty. It allows an addictive pattern to have authority over their soul, basically. And then the picture here, looks like somebody holding back emotions, like, no, no, no. I'm not going to deal with emotions. I don't want to look at the past. I don't want to gain insight and understanding. I just want to look successful and stable, and I don't want to do the work and effort. And the work and effort is, you know, getting to know yourself more emotionally, to understand why you've done what you've done, why you believe what you believe, what was kind of ingrained in you or patterned in you from childhood or society or TV or culture, that keeps you from being willing to deal with your emotions. It's the more we know ourselves, the more we know the world, the more we understand why we do what we do, the more we understand why other people do what they do. And, we were made being this incredibly complex, emotional human being. It'd be kind of nice to explore the depths of it before we, as we live our life, than having lived a shallow emotional existence. And then I asked, oh, I think I asked up here, um, that I didn't feel like it really told us, but why? Why? Oh, I know what this is for. Oh, I asked what the shadow attributes would be from the Shadow Oracle deck from the same creator, Mystic Blue Moon Tarot. What some of their shadow attributes would be for people that maybe go into shadowy Aquarius energy, which is unwilling to think outside the box, unwilling to step out of societal norms. So, kind of like, I don't want to be someone who rocks the boat. I don't want to bring around societal change. I want to, in like the Ten of Pentacles, do things the way we've always done it in our family or in society, in culture. Um, and also, just not wanting to see things from a bigger picture and kind of wanting to be in denial and make decisions that are best for themselves. So we got childish, afraid, rebellious, controlling, emotionally unavailable, stubborn, spoiled, a cheater, and rage. So then I asked, well, they're all kind of interesting, but why the rage? And I think what came out was High Priestess, the shadow side, which is the devil card in this deck, and the sun. Well, for some, again, they might have had. Well, I think the big thing is that secretly they were kind of toxic, either selfish, greedy, controlling, unwilling to put in work and effort to change and cooperate with other people to move forward. And that was illuminated. And they're mad about that. Bitter, resentful, and angry that maybe, because people don't even want to acknowledge that in themselves, much less to have it be public. Maybe that they were like that. Of course, I don't know if you're going to be like that. It's just easier to own it and just say, I don't think people got to get into all that mumbo jumbo. But another thing could be that secretly they could have had some toxic energies or fears and insecurities about willing to step into the spotlight of their life. And, if they were going to move forward, they could always get mad in their relationships if people want them to be more authentically themselves, to, you know, step more fully into their life, which is part of the, to step more fully into life, you have to become more emotionally connected in with them, that yourself. You have to get over your fears, your insecurities, your self-limiting beliefs. You have to be willing to take a chance, and that could end up, you could be judged for it. And if somebody's very prideful and egotistical, they want to keep doing everything the same. They know how to be successful doing that. If they step out and do something new, they could be worried about what other people would say. So that could be part of it, that they were hiding, that they have fears about that. They also could have been hiding that they have maybe a lot of pride and ego, and they do want the spotlight on them, that and they hide that from people. Maybe. That's what I got from it. Those are three major arcana cards. So, universal forces at play. They could be mad because someone was very intuitive and those people sensed that this person has some either toxic energy about Leo energy, or they have some toxic energy and want everything to be about them. And so that can be that kind of bossy and controlling type of thing. And they hide that. And somebody could have been intuitive about it. So anyway, there is a possibility. Oh, and I don't think I showed you under here, did I? That for the people who did move forward in positive energy, and if any of these people, if the relationship they got into didn't work out because they saw that a person from their past was repeating past patterns of the past, and they decided to not invest in that, or because if people that they were dealing with that kept moving forward in a positive manner and had let go of an investment in them and they kept moving forward, that could have bothered them. And they then could have decided to put in the work and effort to do what they needed to do. But so for those who do figure it out, their bitterness will, when you learn the lessons, you can see you can actually end up being thankful for the experience, that, just like how you hear people that kind of ran their life into the ditch and they're actually really grateful for it because, it is meant to teach us to learn and grow from the experience, even though at the time we were mad and we were embarrassed, if everybody knew that we ran our life off into the ditch. And then you realize that I learned so much from that experience that I maybe, and that's the whole thing. If you're not willing to learn your lessons and keep learning them as you go and do that thing where you keep in touch with yourself and, kind of when keeping track of how things are going, slowly but surely there's lessons that you're supposed to be learning and growing. And if you aren't, these things will happen in your life where your life will get taken off into the ditch and it's like, oh my gosh, why did I ever do that? Why'd that happen? Why'd I make that decision? It's like, because you weren't learning the lessons you were meant to learn. So it's almost like the universe takes you into the ditch because it's like, we have plans for you. You're supposed to be doing things. You have so much more potential than this. And if you're not going to do it, I don't know. This is your decision point. Are you going to do it or not? When the people say no, they go off and, we all are at those crossroad decision points in our life. Are you saying yes or are you saying no? Are you going to be in your pride and ego, fear and insecurity, or are you going to be brave? And the people who thought they could keep skimming by without doing the work, the universe brought up a temptation for them or caused conflict in their life to make them have to decide. And when they decided no, well, then you go down a path of hard knocks to learn some lessons. So then they get to where they can learn the beauty of, people come into our life to teach us lessons, to make us more tolerant and lovable, to realize that we're talented and intelligent, and we need to have an open mind and maybe be more optimistic and compassionate and spiritual. The more emotionally we connect with ourselves, the more intuitive we are. We have better clarity. You either come from love or you come from not love. And if you come from not love, you're going to be emotionally confused and in illusion, and your intuition is going to be off. You're going to, if you don't trust yourself emotionally because you don't invest in yourself emotionally, your intuition is going to be off. So there you go, Aquarius energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.